Hi, how are you all doing?
Hey guys, welcome back to The Binger. Joaquin Phoenix is back to dizzying heights of fame and popularity thanks to his part in 2019's Joker. However, the actor has been active in the industry for quite some time. Phoenix has a knack for choosing roles that most stars would not. Whether it's in an independent art house flick or a movie that's about a country singer, he gives it everything he's got. Let's take a look at 10 of the star's roles before he became Gotham's maniacal madman. Back in 2004, most of us were bopping around to Usher's Yeah! And thinking about how we would get out of work the next day.
I want to go home.
Joaquin, on the other hand, was turning up to set every day to shoot scenes for M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Phoenix took on the lead role of village outsider Lucius, who falls in love with Bryce Dallas Howard's Ivy. Although the movie had all the trappings of an interesting thriller, critics were largely disappointed with the twist. Roger Ebert gave The Village one singular star, calling M. Night Shyamalan's plot twist miscalculated and transparent. The plot may have left a little bit of a sour taste in the mouth, but you can't knock Phoenix's performance in the movie. He gives it all he can and plays the part wonderfully well. He even gets stabbed by Adrian Brody's character, so it's not exactly a carefree part to play. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth a watch, even if it's just to marvel at what a great picture it could have been. Who do you get to play one of the most iconic country singers there ever was? It has to be someone that can do the part justice. Casting directors landed on their feet when they signed Phoenix for 2005's Walk the Line as the late great Johnny Cash. Thankfully for the actor and his co-star Reese Witherspoon, this movie went down a lot better than The Village. In fact, both actors got Oscar nominations, with Reese taking home the trophy for Best Actress. Phoenix really shines in the role of Cash too, in all his southern glory. It's likely that the troubled hitmaker might have even approved of the movie himself had he not passed away 2 years prior to its release. The star later admitted that it was a difficult part to tackle, but approaching the music first helped him to deal with everything. Amazingly, both Phoenix and Witherspoon did all their own singing, so there was no dubbing over. That's dedication if we ever saw it, folks. Not every actor does that.
Time's wasting.
Gladiator is still hailed as a supremely brilliant film, but to some, it's a little hard to see why. Sure, it's fun to go back to ancient Rome and play on the brutality of the era, but how about actually making it seem authentic? Still, audiences didn't seem to mind as Russell Crowe bossed the heck out of his part. Phoenix stepped up to play his role of General Commodus, a giant man-child that likes things to go his way and definitely shouldn't be in charge of anything. He might think he's merciful, but he sure as heck is not. Joaquin put on his best English accent for the role, which would have taken some practicing. The movie wasn't cheap to make, so when it made an absolute fortune at the box office, everyone was relieved. It's not often you get to star in a big-budget caper like this. At the time, Phoenix was just 25 years old, making this a huge part for him to land. The vast majority of people at that age are still living in their parents' basement. Or is that just us? It can't just be us. When Joaquin came up with the idea for I'm Still Here, he really went all in. We've all been sat around with our friends and come up with some dumb stuff to do for fun, but it never lives past that night. In 2010, Phoenix teamed up with Casey Affleck to make the mockumentary film. It documents his transition from actor to hip-hop artist. The best thing about it? The pair actually managed to make all of us think it was real. Phoenix even went on several talk shows looking like a complete lunatic.
It's just a little joke.
And staying in character throughout. The world knew something was off, but the actor stuck to his guns. It was superbly done and a true masterpiece of filmmaking. If only because it's so weird and off. It's not like it brought in a lot of money as it only made around $500,000, but that wasn't the point. Phoenix later said it was really to poke fun at the public's misconception that reality TV is not scripted. It certainly made everyone think twice, that's for sure. Remember that classic Disney movie Brother Bear? Said no one ever. In theory, the 2003 animated feature had all the trappings that make a great House of Mouse movie. Phil Collins did the soundtrack, and there are animals. Everybody likes animals. Sadly, it just didn't hit the right note to become a breakout hit. The only saving grace of Brother Bear was Phoenix, as he voiced the part of Kenai.
No, I mean I'm not a bear. I hate bears.
Given the unremarkable nature of the movie, it's not really surprising that the actor skipped on the sequel, instead handing over the reins to Mandy Moore and Patrick Dempsey. The entire process took around 3 years to complete, which might explain why Phoenix came across as pretty cranky in a lot of the publicity interviews. It was no Gladiator after all. It might go without saying that he has yet to voice another Disney character. He probably won't rush back into the studio anytime soon to rectify that situation either. In 2002, people were still paying to see Mel Gibson in a movie. Signs is another creation from the brilliant mind of M. Night Shyamalan, but it got considerably better reviews than The Village. Phoenix plays the younger brother of Gibson, who both live on a remote farm when aliens pay them a visit. It's a movie filled with tension, otherworldly entities, emotion, and intricate family politics. Phoenix also got to show us how brilliant he is with a baseball bat in that iconic scene. When the family's stuck in a perilous situation with one of the extraterrestrials, Gibson recalls the advice of his dying wife. In turn, he calls upon Phoenix's character to grab a bat from the wall and beat the alien to a pulp. It becomes clear that these beings are allergic to water too, and thankfully there's a ton of that lying around, waiting to be smashed and splashed. Swing away, Meryl, swing away! Phoenix really proved that he was a steady hitter by starring in this movie, even pulling the spotlight away from its leading man. One of the best things about Phoenix's brand of acting is the way he's able to tell tales with his facial expressions. He doesn't even need to say a thing. His deep eyes and demeanor do it all for him. It's what makes him so well suited to playing the strong silent type. Phoenix took on the role of Joe in Lynn Ramsey's You Were Never Really Here in 2017, and it was no comedy. In the movie, Phoenix's character is tasked with rescuing the daughter of a senator that was sold into slavery. As you might imagine, the character is as complex as it can get. This is no Liam Neeson in Taken or Gerard Butler in the Fallen series. Not to snub those two actors, but that's just not what Phoenix is about. If he takes a part, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's way more to it than just being the tough guy. Although You Were Never Really Here flew under the mainstream radar compared to the likes of Joker, it still turned heads. Phoenix won an award for Best Actor at Cannes, so it was clearly worth his time. Phillip Seymour Hoffman could command any movie that he deemed fit to work on. When he passed away in 2014, it was a huge loss to the industry. Luckily for Phoenix, the pair got to work together 2 years previously on The Master. Phoenix played Freddie Quell, a troubled World War II Navy veteran who meets Lancaster Dodd, the leader of a religious sect. The chemistry the two actors had on screen was incredible. The movie gifted us with one stellar scene after another. In one sequence, Dodd asks his new recruit some disturbingly personal questions and tells Quell he isn't allowed to blink when he answers. Amazingly, Phoenix pulls it off, acting his socks off while keeping his eyes wide open. That sort of self-control is a beautiful thing to behold. The Academy thought so too, nominating him for the Best Oscar award. Phoenix didn't win, but a lot of people think he should have. Instead, Daniel Day-Lewis took home the award for Lincoln, but we know who the real winner is. It's the digital age, and getting a date can be hard. No one goes into bars and meets someone these days. It's all about swiping right or left or sending the right message. In a lot of ways, 2013's Her was way ahead of its time. Spike Jonze's film sees Phoenix play a lonely man that ends up falling in love with his artificial intelligence operating system. In fairness to him, the AI is voiced by Scarlett Johansson, which certainly helps. One of the most amazing things about this movie is that Phoenix is by himself for a lot of it, all just talking to a voice. To keep viewers interested in this way is something that only the finest actors can do. It's a true testament to his talent that the movie didn't flop. Amazingly, he wasn't nominated for an Oscar, which a lot of people thought was a massive oversight. Every dog has its day though, right? Jones, on the other hand, won numerous awards for the screenplay. In our humble opinion, Phoenix should have won an award for his mustache alone. That was a thing of beauty. Box office figures for the picture were modest, but it still made money, and that's all that matters, right? If you've ever decided to travel the world before going to college, then your parents most likely told you to be careful. It's no secret that different countries have some seriously strict laws when it comes to illegal substances. Just ask Phoenix, who plays an ill-fated traveler that gets imprisoned on drug charges in Return to Paradise. It's a very dark and twisted film, but that's probably because what happens could easily happen in real life. It's always the ones that are closest to reality that freak us out the most, right? Phoenix's character gets arrested in Malaysia. but all his friends manage to return home to New York. What an end to a vacation. Vince Vaughn is in the movie too, playing love interest to Phoenix's sister and one of his friends. This is no lighthearted, laugh until your sides hurt feature, but then again, is anything that Phoenix stars in like that? It certainly doesn't seem like it, but we wouldn't have it any other way. This guy is straight up genius, and we just can't wait to see what he does next. Do you remember some of these? Which was your favorite? Don't forget to let us know in the comments. Before you go, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Give this video a big ol' thumbs up too, and we'll love you forever. Until next time, thanks for watching.